think I've had my own fair share of racism within the gay community, and it depends, because when we talk about racism, what we always think is about walking down the street and somebody calling it, using the N word for you, or you being denied access to a restaurant. You know, there's a huge fetish culture of the dark skin that goes around, that to some extent you get to a point where you just can't handle it anymore. And there are deliberate attempts. A friend of mine once was refused an entry, an Asian friend of mine was once refused an entry into a bar, a gay bar within Soho, because of the way he looks. And these things happen in Soho. You know, it's very difficult for us to raise issues around these things, because we need a lot of evidence to be able to do that, and most often than not, because of political correctness, racism is so subtle in this country that it is only the person that is feeling it that knows that he's feeling it. Every other person around is just saying, it's become so normal that when you complain as a black person or as an Asian person that you're being racially abused, people can't see it, because the kind of racism that goes on now are not the racism that happened in the 70s, the 60s, or the 50s, where they'll burn down your houses or call you name or spat at you on the street. They're very subtle racism, but as damaging as the racism that happened in the past. And these things are very difficult to report. So when you feel it, most often than not, people just take it in their stride and just walk on by. Some people are bold enough to call it to their faces, and those people that are bold enough then ended up being called names, which also put them much more in a very vulnerable position.